The member from Ottawa Centre.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Education. Minister, I understand that this morning you announced that over the summer, the McGuinty government delivered over 1 million library books to Ontario schools. I know that the schools in my riding of Ottawa Centre have benefited from this investment, as well as vendors in Ontario. Mr. Speaker, we know these are tough economic times. I want to ask the Minister if she can tell the House why this is a sound economic investment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the member for Ottawa Centre for his work, particularly on the economic file, and he understands that there are a number of things that we have to do as a government, Mr. Speaker, to deal with the economic downturn. Restructuring our tax system is one of them, Mr. Speaker. The other one is we've got to make sure that our students are successful. We've got to make sure that they have the resources that they need. This morning I was at Terry Fox Public School with the member for Ajax Pickering, and Mr. Speaker, we are going to, by the end of this school year, we're going to have delivered more than 2 million school book resources to our schools' libraries, Mr. Speaker. And that means that students in schools across the province have got new materials to work with. That means that kids who maybe aren't engaged in traditional materials have graphic novels to read, Mr. Speaker. It means that they have talking books that they can use on MP3 players. It means that the resources in our schools are up to date, Mr. Speaker, and that means that more kids will succeed.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Speaker, the Minister referred to the future competitiveness of Ontario and the economic success. My riding of Ottawa Centre is home to many young families. Parents often tell me about their concerns regarding their children's education prospects. Investing in more library books sounds like a great idea. Mr. Speaker, how does the Minister know that the government's investments and initiatives in publicly funded education are working?
Mr.
Speaker, on top of the advantage to our kids, there's 72 Ontario vendors who were part of this process and who were able to provide these resources. When I go to schools around the province, Mr. Speaker, I know that everyone in this House who has visited schools can share in this opinion. There are wonderful things happening because of the staff in our schools, because of the support that those adults are giving our kids. So, Mr. Speaker, according to the Pan-Canadian Assessment Program, Ontario's English language students were the only ones, that's Ontario's English language students were the only ones to score above the Canadian average in math, Mr. Speaker. The Progress in International Reading Literacy study, Ontario's 9- and 10-year-olds rank among the top readers in the world. So by any objective measure, Mr. Speaker, our students are doing well. We can pit our kids against those kids from other countries. We're coming out very close to the top, Mr. Speaker, and that's because of the investments that we've been making in our publicly funded education system.
Question.